Profitability of Colombian cinema. After celebrating 100 years of the arrival of cinema to Colombia in September 1997, the following question was raised once more. Why is it that after a century, Colombian cinema does not succeed economically and artistically? There are several reasons why Colombian cinema has not been a profitable industry in our country, which include a lack of government funding, critics who eliminate the possibility of producing commercial movies, a lack of commercialization, and topics for movies. These events have not only caused the backwardness of the industry, but also have limited commercialization to a reduced market. Regarding the role of the state, it has become more important since underdeveloped cinematography is constantly attached to the hegemony of the North American cinematography industry. The last decades have shown that without the permanent support of the state, the continuity of cinema production has the risk of vanishing. The Colombian state had no clear purposes for the industry and has put people who are not well trained in the field in charge of this business. When an investment has been made, the money has gone to big economic groups or film producers whose interests are not for the country. All they want is to just profit from the nation's budget. Another situation that has affected the industry is the role of the critics in the cinematographic industry. The article An Analysis of Film Critics in Colombia, written by the cinema producer Camilo Palacios Obregón, explains how directors' commercial success has been hindered by films critics' appreciations. He says Colombian critics have dissipated the possibilities of producing commercial movies because of their comments on certain films that affect the turnout at the cinemas. He also states that the current tendency of Colombian critics is to price the movies for their convenience and discredit their competitors. This influences the commercial success or failure of a film, and besides that influences marketing and distribution. Nonetheless, critics are not the only ones who have affected the market. A lack of commercialization has also stopped many times the development of cinematographic companies. Regarding this issue, film director Andrés Arevalo expresses that the Colombian cinema does not exist as an industry and it has not a continuity. In his article, This Strange Relation Between the Spectators and the Colombian Cinema. He thinks that if cinema were an industry, there would be marketing and policy strategies to allow producers to trade different products to advertise a film, such as games, music, and books. Since there is no commercialization, there is no money to finance projects. At the end of the article, the author suggests filmmakers take into account spectators' expectations to produce good campaigns and apply a solid marketing strategy. Speaking of the genres, it is common to find that several movies present violent contents, which main subjects are corruption, the Colombian armed conflict and its social consequences, easy money, and drug traffic. Consequently, there is a public reject of Colombian cinema because people are tired of too much violence. Nevertheless, not all the films are about guns and drugs. There are also films that face the country's problems by means of the satire and the black humor. Another reason for humor in Colombian cinema is that spectators prefer to see comedies and action movies instead of films with critical storylines. It is likely that a lack of variety has also affected people's taste and have become used to seeing one type of cinema, and very rarely they are able to choose what they really want to see. In spite of the fact that Colombian cinema is more than a century old, the film industry has not developed enough to have a good commercialization. Colombian cinema profitability requires producers who can make viable productions and are prepared with economic and administrative principles in the sector. Spectators who are very demanding concerning the quality of the films require a product with varied contents and formats. There are still very important challenges which actors must assume to look for the consolidation of a national film industry. Nevertheless, with the approval of Law A14 of 2003, the situation of the film sector shows some positive changes in the dynamics of national film production, as well in the mentality of the producers.